Finding stillness in the busyness. This time of the year lends itself to busyness, to running around, to feeling like you can't get enough done, to feeling like you're already behind before you've even started. So if you're feeling some of this, know you're not alone. You look around you and you can see you're not alone. But if you're looking for another way to find some stillness in the busyness, stay tuned. Hello and welcome to Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. For women who are great at saying yes to others, but not always as great at saying yes to themselves. I am Claudia Braun, mindset, lifestyle, and EFT coach for women who are ready to start saying yes to themselves. And do take advantage of the session that I have available to you today as a free bonus. I put together a holiday survival, and it's a one-to-one 20-minute conversation. Let me help you move through this time with a little bit more focus and connection to what your heart wants instead of being led around by your mind. The link is in the show notes, and I would love to connect with you. So, finding stillness in the busyness. Oh my gosh, right? The lists. You finish one list and then you're like, oh my gosh, there's the other list. Like, right? There's always more to do. Giving you that feeling that you're always behind. And that feeling within yourself that creates that intensity, that rev, that feeling that it's really hard to slow it down. I get it. I was listening to somebody speak about the mind that wants to have you believe that this is how it has to be, the illusion that this is how it has to be. And that's the thing, is that when you've been programmed since you were a little kid, you probably saw your mother doing it, maybe your grandmother doing it, making recipes, wrapping gifts, going shopping, doing on this endless list, and you have just adopted the past generation's practice for this time of the year. It's part of your DNA. You are encoded to hit Thanksgiving or day after Thanksgiving and feel like you have to hit the road, hit the pavement running. And usually what I find with clients is they've never really examined like what they really want. Or if they have, they haven't given themselves permission to listen to what they really want. Because it's so easy to feel like you are underneath this way of being and that there's no way out. You're bombarded with commercials when you listen to a podcast or you listen to a station that playing music, or you're watching something on YouTube, or you're watching a movie or whatever. There's always some kind of break to something else you need to go and buy to make this the perfect holiday. And then there's that person who you wake up in the middle of the night thinking, oh wow, what about them? What do I have to get them? Right? There's that constant feeling of pressure to keep up. But what I know is that pressure to keep up is keeping up with something external. Even though your mind is generating that idea, you need to get this, you need to get that, what about them? It's always been put there by an old idea of how you think things should be, based on what you've seen or what you've been taught or what you thought was going to be the perfect holiday. Maybe you didn't have the perfect holiday growing up, and so you thought as an adult, you're going to create the perfect holiday, and it's going to look like some, picture, photograph, movie you've seen that's been etched in your mind. And so it isn't really generated by a authentic desire within you. It's generated by something that was pre-programmed from media, religion, family, school, neighbors, community, instead of something that you've allowed to be self-generated and your own desire of what this time of year can represent. You want it to represent. You want to feel. It's no wonder that so many people at this time of the year feel really depressed and really burned out, and they're secretly wishing it was over. So I believe, no, it's because there's not permission to have what you really want, to give voice to what really matters, to create the experience that's true for you, instead of thinking it needs to look a certain way, in a certain box, fit into that box. Because any time in your life that you're trying to fit yourself into a box, you're always going to feel too tight for the box, right? And I think sometimes it can be easier to do day-to-day life when you think, oh, well, it's not affecting anybody, but then you get into this holiday time and suddenly there's family involved, and family, even if you like your family, can, create their own challenges because there's a system that's been set up, and you may or may not like the system that's been set up. And if the system's been set up, how challenging is it to now generate your own system? And this podcast today is about knowing that even if this holiday, you don't change what it looks like on the outside, you can decide to change what it looks like on the inside. Because that truly is where your power is, how to find that stillness in the busyness, quietness in the busyness. And, I know I've heard women say they've got about 100 things to do on their list. And I say, look down on the list and see what 10 you can cross off. Because so many of those things on the list don't really need to get done and won't really matter if they're not done. I've talked about the 80-20 rule here, and really only 20% has to be really, really as perfect, as good as you can make it. The 80% really, you can really kind of be like, it's good enough. And it's okay to not buy gifts for people you don't want to buy gifts for. And it's okay to decide that you don't want to go to every event that you're invited to. It's okay to decide to not cook a meal that you don't want to cook. This is about giving yourself permission to do what genuinely is a desire within you. And it doesn't mean that you are antisocial. It doesn't mean that you are selfish. I believe there is a way that you can care for yourself and also be a part of community and with others. And I also know that if you are not taking care of yourself, it's really hard to be there in community with others and genuinely want to be there. Because so many times, if you're not taking care of yourself and you're wearing yourself out and you're exhausted, you show up, you're so tired, you barely are interested in anything anybody has to say, you kind of wish that you could not be there. And what kind of experience is that? You're not even present to what you're showing up for. You deserve to be present to what you're showing up for. And so the more you care for yourself, doing less is a way of caring for you and all those people that you're involved with. And that in itself can be a practice of looking at what is it that's on your list and going, I really don't have to do that. Or that really isn't that important. Or you only said you'd say yes to that because somebody else kind of forced you to do it, or you felt forced to do it. And it's like really looking back at that and saying, you know what? You can go back and decide to choose again. You always have the ability to choose again. And making a holiday that is with family as minimally stressful on yourself as possible is the key to your finding more ease in these times. Because I know how easy it is to be challenged and struggle at this time of the year. And when you add additional burdens of obligation and things that you feel like you are having to say yes to, not making time to yourself, giving up on things that you know would make you feel good, you only intensify the stress of this season. And that is not a gift to yourself. I like to think of gifts as something that really enhance your spirit. And if you are giving gifts of your time and attention and it drains you, then it's not truly a gift. There are ways that you can give of yourself and also feel like you are giving to yourself. I know that for me, cooking is something I really enjoy doing, and baking, and it's fun for me to make things I like to eat and bring those things to events. I am very particular about what I eat and how I eat, and it allows me to make things that I enjoy and also know I'm going to have things there that I like to eat. That for me is fun. And I would say that for you, there is something in a gathering that would make the experience way more fun for you. I always encourage my clients to bring things that they are going to eat because it's twofold. You're contributing something of value to the event, and you're contributing something to yourself. And you're going to get to enjoy making it. So I would say the same thing is true with purchasing gifts for friends, family, whoever you decide you want to purchase for. When you look at your list of who you are buying for, I would really invite you to look at, are they people you really want to buy for? Are they things you really want to give? And does it bring you joy to give them? Or does it feel like a big obligation? Does it feel stressful because it's not in your budget? Does it feel like an obligation? What is it that is motivating you? And if what's motivating you is not from your heart, does not give you a feeling of joy or peace or excitement or delight, you might want to reconsider how you can change this up. And if for this year you feel like you're too late in the game to make the change of crossing somebody off your list, you can at least decide to do it differently, decide to give something in a different way. Definitely important to make sure that what you're giving resonates with you. I was somewhere and somebody was talking about how their families really decided to do intentional giving, that they don't want to give out of obligation. They want to give out of intention. And I really love that because it really resonates with my thinking, and that in day-to-day life, the more you are making choices from intention. What is your intention? What is the motivator, which has you being clear-minded, which has you being of choice, the more it's going to resonate with the other person as well. And it's going to feel good inside of you. The last thing you want to do is walk away from this holiday and feel like you have big debt. You resent the holiday. It was a big, just pain for you. You have a choice a week away to decide how to bring more peace of mind to yourself and make the holiday one of genuine giving. Giving from your heart, giving from your own true desires that may look nothing like what your family did. And know that you get to choose what's best for you. And there are always ways to tweak the tradition that's been passed down so that it resonates with you. Here's the thing about tradition, is that at some point in time, it resonated with the person who started it. But generations later, people change, things change. And that is perfectly human and part of the evolutionary process. It's absolutely possible to keep the essence of what the tradition was without having to hold to all of the dogma of the tradition. And if it doesn't bring kindness and love to the people taking the tradition forward, then it doesn't suit them, and it's time to reevaluate. This is truly a time of intention. As we step into this holiday season, which we are full on in, it is a time of greater light. Hanukkah is the time of festival of lights. Christmas is about bringing more light into the world, essence of light, and light is illumination. We bring more brightness, we bring more clarity, and simplicity allows for clarity. Space creates clarity. I had the experience of giving a lot of household items away to donations to family members, and oh my gosh, it's created so much space in the house and it feels so good. And that to me is what the light is. If you bring in the light, you need space to bring in the light, because when you got so much stuff, whether it's in your mind, whether it's in your house, there is no room for the light. It's dark, it's tight, it's controlled. So spaciousness is needed, and you need to create the space in your mind to be able to connect to the light and get clarity on what is it that's going to help you experience more stillness and peace during this very intense time in your life, societally, in the world. I mean, you feel the ripple effect here. So I know what's important is making sure that you have space for yourself. No matter how busy your day is, carving out time for you, whether it's 5 minutes to take stillness, listen to quiet music, meditate, go for a 5-minute walk, go sit and look at a beautiful picture, at a painting, music, nature, walk. All of these things help create more space, more opening. giving yourself the permission of space allows you to connect to the quiet, the stillness of this time. Because indeed, the value of holidays is about slowing down and getting still and quiet. I know that when Christmas comes, the streets get quiet and it's walking around is like being in a wonderland because there's hardly anyone on the streets. And I think, oh my gosh, it's divine, right? So we know in openness, in space, there's room to feel more relaxed, more centered. And it takes a willingness to step outside the busyness, the lists of your mind, and just go within. Because know that underneath all of your busyness, all of the lists, all of the doingness, there still is stillness inside of you. And you deserve to connect to it, because otherwise you just feel the rev, your stomach is going, you start to feel like you're always kind of revved up and kind of sick, don't feel so great. But in giving yourself peace, time to go within, you give yourself permission to truly experience the essence of this holiday and connect to that which you really want. And it may surprise you. I look forward to hearing what you discover in the stillness, in the peace, in the space that you create. Thank you for joining me today. Do take advantage of the holiday 20-minute one-to-one connection. Let me help you find some more space in your mind for your life. I am Claudia Braun, mindset lifestyle coach for women. Great at saying yes to others, not always as great at saying yes to themselves. And thank you for being with me on Say Yes to You and Why You Don't. I look forward to being with you next week, and we will be talking about how to make it healthy during the holidays. Bye for now.